Here we go.
You're a what? That doesn't make any sense. The amount of times I've heard this after I tell people what my favorite NFL football team is ridiculous. Then, once I usually tell them the reason, oh, well, my family's all from Wisconsin, they usually get it. But what really drives them crazy is when I tell them that my dog's name is Packer. After this, I'm usually met with two different types of reactions. If they live and breathe the Bears, they stop petting the dog and they immediately question the name. But if they're not diehard fans, they usually say, oh, that's a cute name. Now, Packer is pretty cute, but we never got him trained, so he's a little bit on the wild side. My story begins in sixth grade. In my new journalism class that my middle school started to offer, we had just received a very exciting assignment. We were told that we were to email a corporation or company of our choice and to try and get a letter or gift back in the mail. This was very interesting to middle schoolers because nothing we had ever done up until that point revolved anything around communicating to a company and having to craft a letter of that type. Obviously, we're all very excited. Other kids jumped to huge name brands like Nike, Adidas, and of course in middle school McDonald's. But my mind immediately raced to the Green Bay Packers. I remember the rest of the day not being able to think about anything else except the great letter and gifts I would get back from my favorite team. So the next week, our teacher helped us, craft the letters, gave us more guidelines to the assignment. And I was super pumped about it, and I really wanted to get the most out of it. So I told my parents and my family, and they also helped me write the letter because I knew I would need all the help I could get if I wanted to get something back and make my letter stand out to them. Because I thought they'd probably get hundreds a day. I didn't work on any other homework assignment that entire week, and I actually think that the letter is the best piece of writing I've written to this day. Um, in the letter, I wrote about how big of a fan I was and about how much it would mean to me if they actually took the time to write something back that was personalized. Um, I just really poured my heart and soul into this letter and gave it all I could. I even gave my insight into whether or not they should trade their tight end at the time, Jermichael Finley, because I thought I was an ESPN analyst in sixth grade. I put my whole heart into this letter, and my family, friends, and teachers knew it. So a couple weeks passed by after sending the letter in the mail. Every day, obviously, these 2 weeks consisted of a lot of anxiety and worry. Every day, I'd get in my mom's car and I'd ask her if she had thought the Packers had read the letter yet, and she would usually give me a comforting answer and tell me not to worry about it and just talk about other stuff. After around 2.5 weeks, something finally came in the mailbox for me at my middle school. Obviously, I didn't care about anything else unless it was from the Packers. And sure enough, it was from them. And when I brought it back to the classroom, I noticed inside this crisply white packaged envelope, there was more than just a letter. There was some other contents inside there. The Fresh Pack, it just stood out to me on the envelope, like the Fresh Packers logo in the top right hand corner of this huge, ginormous white envelope was freshly printed there, like perfectly. And I just before I tore it open, I just took a moment to appreciate it. My heart began to race as I tore it open. And not only did I get a personalized letter back, at the time it seemed personalized, but maybe if I look back on it now, it could easily have just been they put Dear Max and then put all this stuff. But I convinced myself that it was personalized and that someone took the time to write it directly to me. But I also got a mixed assortment of stickers, pencils, and gift shop items and cheer items, just little number one fingers and stuff. I was the proudest sixth grader ever, and I made sure I flexed it in the hallways walking back to put it in my backpack. I got home that day and I told my family all about the great news, and they knew how much I cared about it and how much work I put in. So they were really happy for me and told me I deserved it. So I set it down on the kitchen counter, not thinking much of it. Went to bed. I woke up the next morning feeling like the king of the world, not a problem, not a care in the world. Only to walk down to everything ripped to shreds by the man himself, Packer the dog. Packer in his mind, thought it was in his best interest to ruin everything I'd worked so hard for. Packer, whose name is literally taken from the organization itself, felt that was in his best interest. I was in shock. My next emotion was pure anger, so I didn't pet or talk to Packer for the next month. And I was very vigilant about this because I wanted to make sure I expressed my anger as clearly as possible without going crazy or anything. So I was very, very disciplined in that sense. My mom tried to convince me he's just a dog and he didn't do it on purpose. But obviously, like in sixth grade, I was convinced that there was some malicious intent behind it. Now, eventually, I forgave Packer. I'm not a psycho. So I came to terms with it. It definitely took some time, and it took a lot for me to forget about it. And I still think we have a little bit of beef to this day. There's some awkward eye contact. And as weird as it may sound, I actually took away some lessons and values from this experience. I learned that even the best of things in my life that I'm really excited about might eventually come to an end and might not go as planned. So it helped me, and although it was a small instance of this lesson, it really was a big step in developing an open mind and approaching things without a set ideal vision. And it's good to have a vision, but you got to have an open mind that things might twist and turn not the way planned. And obviously, it taught me a lot about forgiving. Even if it was forgiving a dog, I could still apply it to people in my life and to events in my life that didn't go as planned. In a weird way, I may even consider myself grateful for Packer tearing up. Yeah, that's a stretch. I didn't do that. And Packer and I became best friends for a couple of years after that. And that was until the open pack of Skittles incident in my front yard, but that's a different story.